Hello, sixth graders. This is Mrs. Mayer, and on behalf of all of your sixth grade teachers, I created this video to help guide you as you do your Amplify lesson this week. So let's get started. Let's go over here to our directions, and the first thing that you'll see that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and that is to watch your video. And that is the last link. When you look at my screen, you don't see that link because I haven't put the video there, but I will once we're done with this. So number one, we're going to deck 5, the jam scene, and we're going to be doing card 1, 2, and 4. We're skipping 3 because I'm actually going to do it for you in this lesson, and I will explain in just a moment. Then we're going to do deck 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and vocab. Now, all of these could possibly be a different link, but I'm going to show you how to get on to 5, and then you're just going to stay there. And then at the end, you're going to do vocabulary. How long should you do vocabulary? About 10 minutes. You don't need to do it for the entire day. You don't need to do it for half of the day. Set a timer for yourself. Do as much as you can. So roughly 10 minutes would be great. So our very first link brings us to the jam scene. And this is what it'll take you to. If you are having problems with Amplify, please let us know, because we have Amplify's given us some directions, and I know some of you have reached out to me. Notice I'm logging in with Google, and it's asking me to choose my account. It might do this with you, it might not, but it's through your Google account. So if you're on a parent's computer and you're not logged in, that could possibly be why you're having trouble. Okay, so it brings me to right exactly where I need to be. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to do 1, 2, and remember what I said, we're skipping 3 and we're going to 4. So let's get started on 1. Move my camera over and we're going to scroll down, and it just says a character trait is a quality that describes what a person is like. So let's look at what are some character traits. You're going to be learning more about Tom Sawyer, and he's a very interesting character, isn't he? And as we look over some of these, you can think about, does this describe how Tom Sawyer is, especially in this week's reading? Sneaky, kind, shy, tricky, mischievous, clumsy, disobedient, happy. You can keep scrolling down for more. Liar, smart, angry, clever, obedient, and proud. So those are some character traits. And what is a character trait? A character trait is the way you describe somebody. It's a quality of what a person is like. Now in this section, number 3, it says that the teacher's going to show you how to cut and paste. So since we're not in class together, when you get to 3 and it says your teacher's going to show you how to cut and paste, I'm doing that right now. So don't worry, you're just going to kind of skip over that. But notice I can click on these boxes, or I can go to next. Okay, that is important. So far, I haven't done anything. I haven't answered any questions, so I'm good. But notice that we are going to go to a character matrix, and there may be times where you're not handing it in. In fact, we're going to go back to the directions and see when do I hand in and when do I go to the character matrix, because your teachers can see both. So make sure you're hitting that hand in button. So since I'm going to show you how to cut and paste in the next one, I'm going to go to 4. And now I'm going to go right here, and I have the story. Now, I've already read this story, but just as a reminder, when you read the story, so that you can listen to it, you're going to press this and it'll start playing for you. Listen to the story a couple times. One of the reasons why I really recommend doing that is there's a lot of difficult words. When I get to a word I don't know, if it's blue, I'm going to click on it. It'll tell me the definition, and I'm going to keep reading. Again, this is written in a way that is hard to understand, so I might read it 2 or 3 times before I start answering questions. So I'm going to look over here in my directions, say find and highlight one quotation that shows something about Tom's trickiness, and another quotation that shows something about Tom's likability. Now you might not know how to highlight, so we're going to review how to highlight. Now something that I noticed, and again, notice I clicked on that word. I can click back and I'm not going to see a definition, or I can just keep it like that. It really doesn't matter. But again, click on all of those blue words to help you understand. Okay, so something I already clicked on, I already highlighted, but I'm going to show you again. Look behind you. Okay, so right here, something's going to happen with his aunt, and he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. So I kind of thought, personally, I thought he's being funny, and I kind of like that. He's kind of making a joke. He's in trouble. He's trying to get the attention off of himself and make his aunt distracted. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but Tom Sawyer is really good at doing this. So notice I'm going to try to highlight this. See how I just I left click, I selected. Now you have the option of highlighting. You can make a note, and you can copy. All of those things are going to be really important in the next activity. Now I'm going to copy. So now notice it said selection copied. Now I'm going to go over here to my character matrix. And this is a graded activity. We're going to be able to see your character matrix. I'm going to show you something about your character matrix that is very interesting. Now look at all these different scenes you're going to be reading about jam, swimming, the fight, and so on. So this one is about jam. I don't want to give it away, but it is about jam. And so I'm going to add something about jam. So I'm going to put that over there. And I'm just going to put Control V. That means I think about V as it's Velcro. Okay, so Control C is often Control A is you select it. Control C is you copy it. Control V is like Velcro. Now with this program, notice how I left clicked it highlighted, and then I press copy. Tiny bit different than what you're used to doing on the computer, but it's pretty similar. Now, if this is what I want to use, I can say submit. Look behind you. Now, you can say this kind of shows he's tricky. Now, look at his face. Isn't that kind of funny? Or you can say, I kind of like that he did that. It shows that he's likable. So I'm going to scroll down on mine, and notice how his face changes. So you're going to add 2 quotes. For the jam scene, you're going to add one about is he tricky, and one about is he likable. Okay, notice I already put that in there. And then one more, again, you're just going to cut and paste onto there. Once you're done, we can actually see it. So it's an app, and we can see what you've done. So now I'm going to go back, and now I'm going back to 4. And once I've done that character matrix, I'm going to press hand in. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to look at what are the directions? And the directions said I'm just supposed to keep going. So how do I keep going? Over here, we're on 5. Now we're going to go over to, we're going to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're stopping at 10. Okay, so let's go over to 6. And let's see what 6 tells us. Now we're in a different scene. Now we're in a swimming scene. And so again, we're going to reread it. Again, I recommend listening to it. How do I listen to it? I can press this. I can reread it. I'm clicking on all the words to help myself understand them. And I'm going to read the directions. It says, read this passage and highlight 2 to 3 things that Tom says or does that show how he acts towards Aunt Polly and Sid. So as I do that, one of the things I noticed some of you were saying to me is that you were highlighting a lot. That's great. That's fantastic. You're highlighting a lot. But first, before you start highlighting, look at the directions, because there are specific things that you do need to highlight. So I'm going to highlight the things that they say. Now, once I do that, I'm done. I think I might have turned it in. So it might say update. In fact, let me tell you about that button update. We've noticed as your teachers that some of you are not doing the best that you could possibly do on those solos or some of the other things. Now, let's say you do poorly on a quiz. You do poorly on something with Amplify. I have good news for you. You can change your grade. You can get a better grade. You press this button update. So if I've already done something and I think, oh no, I got all of them incorrect, I need to go back. I was rushing. I was just clicking. I was thinking my teacher's not even going to check this, but yes, we are going to check this. And yes, it is worth points. And sometimes you're going to get full credit, and sometimes we're going to look at specific things. So what do I want to do? I want to do my best. So when I click this button update, I can go back and I can change things and update them before my teacher sees them. So here's what's important. Remember, these are due every Thursday. Thursday mornings when you want to have this completely finished. I would do it the day it's assigned so that I don't even have to worry about that. So again, if I want to change my grade, I can do it with pressing update. So this one, simply number 6, I highlight. Number 7, again, it's still about the swimming scene, but now I'm going back to that character matrix. and I'm going to read those directions, copy and paste the highlighted text. So the last time I was supposed to highlight a couple things. So hopefully you highlighted a couple things. Let's review once again how to highlight. So I'm going to just take something. I'm going to take something funny. Yes, I can highlight, which hopefully I already highlighted something. And then when it's time to copy, I'm going to go over it again and press copy, and it's going to say selection copied. I go to my character matrix, and I'm kind of doing one that I'm not giving you the answer, and I'm pulling it over, and I'm going to say, okay, here, remember Control V, yes, what does that show? I mean, it shows that he has manners. I mean, there's a lot of different things. It shows likable. Yeah, that's kind of nice. You said that. So I'm going over here. Wait a second. I have a quote that I already put on there. Yes, you do, because I already did that. But I noticed something. There shouldn't be anything on my character matrix. Why? Because I'm not in the jam scene anymore. So I kind of don't want this. I need to go over here to swimming. And now I need to go over here. And now I'm going to do the same thing and add that. Okay. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to decide where does it go. Okay. Again, if it's tricky, he doesn't have a very good look on his face. If it's likable, he has a smile, and you decide and you put that. So the important thing is you have to make sure you know what scene am I in. So when we're doing deck 5, we're in jam. Deck 6 and 7, we're in swimming. And then I believe 8, you're answering some questions, and 9 and 10 is a fight. So make sure you click on the correct one, because otherwise you're going to get to it and you're going to say, wait, why do I have all these things on mine? It's a common mistake. So now I'm going to go back. Now I'm in 7. I'm going to say next activity. Okay. Again, we're going to be able to see that character matrix just like we can see vocab. We can see everything you do in vocab, even though in vocab you don't really hand it in. So now I went to 7. Now here we're going to go to 8. Now 8, we've got some questions, and some of these questions you're going to be thinking about and answering on your flip grid. Can't wait to see your beautiful faces on your flip grid. You're going to want to read this obviously first before you do your flip grid, because we're going to ask you some questions about Tom. But here are some questions that we're going to be considering. What type of boy are you picturing in your head? So remember, whenever we answer questions, we write in complete sentences. How did the text or the audio reading help you create this picture in your head? Again, we're going to write in complete sentences. So something that I can do to write in complete sentences, I would say the text or audio reading helped me create this picture in my head by, and I'm giving an example. And I have a third one. Does this picture change after reading the text? Again, I'm going to write a complete sentence, maybe giving textual evidence. And that's 8. So I've done 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to 10. Now 10 is the fight scene. Now this I'm going to highlight. So again, what do I highlight? Don't just start highlighting everything. It gives me specific directions. Highlight things Tom says or does that shows how he acts with the new boy. So anything that you think that kind of demonstrates how he acts, once I've highlighted, you're actually getting points for highlighting. You hand it in. Then after that, I go to 10. We're going back to the character matrix, and it's going to look just like this, but it is a little tricky because I bet it's not going to be on the right scene. So sure enough, let's look. What scene did it take me to? It took me to jam, but we're not in jam. We're in fight. So remember, I've got to just click on fight, and then I'm going to cut and paste whatever quotes I find, and they're going to help me show, is Tom tricky or is he likable? Again, that's just an example. So what am I doing? I'm going 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't do 11. And if you ever have questions, what do? I go back to my directions. Where are my directions? My directions are on Google Classroom. So they're right here. So remember all of these, if you're ever kind of thinking, I'm not sure, am I doing this right? Make sure I'm handing it in. There's specific directions for each of these, and then a vocab app, 10 minutes, and then you're finished. I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you for working so hard. We are very proud of you, and we appreciate that you're putting in time and effort. We wish we could be with you, and we hope that you are having a fantastic day, a fantastic week. Please communicate with us. We're going to be talking to you about live office hours, so maybe hopefully you're watching this in the morning, so that if you do have questions for your teacher, I think 10 to 11 or 10 to 11:30 are office hours. We have more specific directions for you coming about that, but if there's something you don't understand, reach out to your teacher and they will be happy to help you. And that is how to finish up lesson 1 of Amplify.